Hi, my name is Anthony Alanis. I wanted to create this video for anybody who is trying to get involved with research and wants to learn how to do it as efficiently as possible. So, if you're an undergraduate student, medical student, resident, or even an attending physician, and you want to get involved with medical research, and you want to know what type of techniques are the most, efficient techniques in today's world with I wanted to share some uh, skills that I've learned over the years in medical school. So I wanted to start by just sharing my screen and going straight to Microsoft Word. So every manuscript should be at some point edited in Microsoft Word. I have met lots of people who favor Google Docs. I think it's great, but I do not think it is the best user interface when using a citation manager software. Um, I know that people who use Google Docs tend to use something called Zotero for their citation manager, but today I will be showing you how to use EndNote as your citation manager when you're citing articles throughout your paper. So the first thing to do when you are writing a manuscript is you create the title page. The title page will usually include your title, your author list, their affiliations, your corresponding author, and their information like their name, address, phone number, email, and um, also like what department they're in, if they're um, at a hospital of some sort. And so this is usually what you would put on your title page. And I would normally press Control Enter to start a new page. And this page I'll put my abstract on. The abstract could have some background info, your methods, your results, conclusions, future directions, and after that, keywords. So keywords would include maybe like five uh, commonly used words throughout your manuscript. And then I would press Control Enter to start a third page. This third page would include my abbreviations list. Your abbreviations list should only include abbreviated words that show up more than once throughout your paper. Sometimes, if you're only going to use a word twice, you might not want to abbreviate it, but if it's a long word and you would like to abbreviate it and it shows up more than once, then feel free to abbreviate it and then update your abbreviations list continuously or do it at the very end of editing your paper. I like to do it at the very end, though. I like to build this abbreviations list at the very end of my paper, and you can actually use AI to do that. Okay, so after that, Control Enter, and now you can write the introduction for your paper, um, or it could be background. Either way, and so say you have so the way I would do this is for every section of your paper, I would just start a new page. I would just start a new page. So this would be my methods, Control Enter, results, Control Enter, discussion or conclusions, either one. And then, future directions. And then on your last page, you should always have your citations. I think that's always a good thing to put last. Um, you should also have, even after your citations, actually, you should put like your figures or tables. I would put your figure as an image, like I would put them as like an image file with high resolution. Some journals might have a specific requirement for the resolution for these images, and then I would put your figure legend right beneath it. Um, or I would just create a new section for your figure legends. I've seen people do both. Like I've seen people put the figure caption or figure legend right beneath the figure in this section. But then I've also seen people create a whole new section just for figure legends, and they usually do like figure one, flow chart of ... and that's how it can look like that too. And those would correspond to whatever images you put here, but just make sure that you put figure one beneath it. That's why I always just put it all together. And so I usually do it like this. I usually put the image here, and then I put the figure legend right beneath it so that it's easier to understand which figure legend corresponds to which image. So that's always the best way to start your manuscript, is create the outline. And within your outline, you want to break it down even further. So within the background, you might want to have sections for like subtopics. I think it's always good to have at least 3 subtopics in your background, for example. So maybe say, history of radiotherapy and head and neck cancer, and then, current treatment modalities, and then future research. And, these could be 3 subtopics within the background. Now, if you want, so most people, their next step would be to search for articles that they could cite in this section. And so, honestly, the best way to go about doing this, in my opinion, at least to get started, is just, come up with a good title for that subsection, copy the name of that title, go right over to ChatGPT. I gotta say, this is a really good way of using it, and say, give me PubMed search terms. You could use any database, but say something like this. Say, give me PubMed search terms that return articles that correspond to the following topic. And then you paste the name of your subsection and press enter. And ChatGPT should be able to give you a pretty detailed list of search terms that you can use. And so this saves a tremendous amount of time if you're somebody that struggles with using the syntax that PubMed uses, or any other database like Cochrane, Web of Science, Embase. Then this could save you a lot of time. And you can see right here what it would look like. So I would just copy that, go over to PubMed, paste it, search, and so you'll get a whole bunch of results. So 527. You might want to filter it by year. Now, this is a trick that I've not seen anybody do before. So you can actually save up to 200 results. So right now I have my setting up here to say, in this web page, I'm going to show 200 results. And these top 200 results are the best matching results to my search query, which is pretty reasonable, right? Now, if you click this save button, you can save all the results on this page, but this will be the default setting. You should change it to this, where it's going to save a text file containing all of the titles and abstracts for all the results on your web page. Create that file. Now it's downloading. Go right back over to ChatGPT, drag it in, and I have a prompt for this. So I have a prompt for how I want ChatGPT to analyze this text file and summarize findings from articles within this text file that relate to the topic of the section of my paper I would like to cite these articles in. And so give me a list of bullets summarizing findings from multiple articles within the attached text file that relate to the following topic, if applicable. That's important because not all articles will be related to your topic. Do not bold words, provide in-text citations using last name of first author and year of publication. So it will insert within the text of your bullets the citation for the paper that it's coming from, using the last name of the first author and the year of publication. And I gave a little example like that. So I copy that, paste it here. Now I got to go back, copy that sub section heading, go back, paste, and now you press enter. It's reading my text file. It's going through all 200 titles and abstracts, and it's finding articles that are related to my topic for my paper. And it's making a bullet list of findings from multiple papers that are related to the topic I would like to write about. So now copy that, go back here, paste it, Control, just keep text only. Create a bullet list like that. And now you have this bullet list of relevant articles and their findings, and you have the citation like this. Now, a great practice to have when you're doing this type of technique, and this is, you just want to make sure that you're double checking all of your work, because obviously if you're using AI, there's always a risk that the information is coming from nowhere. It's just being fabricated, it's being made up by an AI. I mean, that's always a risk. But with this technique, since I'm using a text file and I'm telling ChatGPT to only use that text file for information, that risk is low, but it's not zero. So what I should do is I should open that text file. Open it, split screens, and Control F, and search for all these author names. Paste. And see how right here, this is the last name of the first author for this paper. The title of the paper is right here, The Oral Microbiome and Cancer. And so, you can verify that the information is accurate. So this is talking about squamous cell carcinoma. Let's see. I don't think they mention it on the right here, but we could ask for more detailed findings later on from ChatGPT, but let's see, 19th and 20th century. So let's see if that's anywhere in this abstract. Yeah, I'm trying not to take too long with reading it, but anyway, so yeah, you can go through this whole list of findings, search for the author's name. So let's do another one. I think that apostrophe is kind of messing it up. Okay, let's look for this person's. Okay, so this is another author, 2025. So right here, 2025. And they're talking about laryngeal cancer. So laryngeal cancer here. But yeah, so what it's doing is these findings are being found within these abstracts by ChatGPT. It's able to uh, take key points from these abstracts and create a list of those findings here. Now, once you verify that all these findings are accurate, uh, which doesn't really take that long, you just go back and forth, really split your screen and just go back and forth. It's really simple, actually. And when you see inconsistencies, you'll see it within like the first finding, and then you'll be like, okay, this is a little bit weird. But anyway, the way that I like to go about doing this now is I'll say Anthony's writing, because obviously you don't want to use AI to write your paper. Never do that. That's just not good practice. I think people are in agreement on not using AI to write for you, literally. So I would just, have your writing prepared like this. And sometimes you might have 20 bullets. You might have a ton, too much to fit on your screen. So what you can do is go to View, split your screen, and now I have a bottom half and a top half. And these halves are able to view separate parts of the same document. No one has ever showed me this before until I just discovered it by looking around, and here it is. And you can also do like a parallel view, I think. Although I never do that. I don't know if other people like that. Yeah, I'm not really sure how to even do it, but there is another trick. So say you're on the web and you want to do the same thing. So Word doc. So I highly recommend using Microsoft Edge as your browser, because you can get this little option right here, split screen. I pinned these to my taskbar, but normally it'll show up here otherwise. Split your screen, pick the same window to be your second screen, and now you can do the same thing. You can do this with Google Docs too, by the way. You can split your screen like this, or you could obviously split your screen like this with the second window altogether, and then edit two different parts of the same document in real time. Even though you're signed in under the same account, you can do that. But it's really helpful. Like sometimes I'll be looking at the abbreviations list on the left side of my screen, and on the right side of my screen, I'm going down my whole document and I'm checking for abbreviations that I should include in my abbreviations list. So I'm updating my list in real time as I'm going throughout my document. That's a really, really helpful way of updating your abbreviations list. But personally, I like to use the desktop application. I think it's very user friendly. But yeah, so that's kind of like a pro tip. Another thing, if you want to set up your desktop application to streamline your efforts even further, you can pin any of these functions to this area of your window by just right clicking, add to quick access toolbar. So let's pick something else like dictate. Right click, add to quick access toolbar, and here it is. And so if I'm on this ribbon, it doesn't matter. It's still there. I can just remove it if I want. So, commonly used things that I like to pin here are my comments panel, my navigation bar, which I'll show you in a second how to use, split screen. I use these all the time. Another pro tip, If you highlight a word and then you press find, it automatically searches for that word everywhere in your document. So it's the same as if I were to press Control F and then write the word writing. It will find it as well. But if you just double click on a word, find, it will automatically fill this search bar and it'll find it. And then sometimes you might need to adjust the options because it'll find only words that are all lowercase. If you have this marked off, it's only going to look for words that match the case of every letter in that word. Or it might be finding only whole words, meaning that if a space, well, say I'm looking for the word RIT, it will not look for also words that say writing if I have this marked off. So say I turn that off and then I do RIT. Now it's finding all these words that have RIT within them because I'm no longer requiring that this belongs to a whole word. So let's do this. Let's make it a whole word and then do RIT. It's no longer able to find any words that are just RIT. So you might need to play around with this a little bit to find what you need. And so, yeah. After you make your outline, though, for your paper, to make your life a whole lot easier, you should try to use this navigation panel as much as you can. So how do you get this? Go to, I think it's layout or review. Here it is. Under view, navigation pane, right click, add a quick access toolbar. For the comment list, go to review, show comments, or actually do the drop down menu. I like this option, the list view, because it creates like a panel here and you can just position your paper right between these two panels and it just looks amazing. But anyway, so so what you can do is you can create a table of contents pretty much here on the left panel, and they will be linked to these titles. So, and I can assign certain levels. So say this is my background, I can assign heading level 1. That's what this says, heading level 1. And so when I do that, it should update this here. So let's make this heading number 2. There we go. So let me just make a few of these. So undo. Also, this bar will normally be on the top of your window. So you can show quick access toolbar above the ribbon, or you can right click and say show below the ribbon. I like below the ribbon because when you split screens, you have more space right here for your little icons. Otherwise, up here it gets kind of crowded by this thing and all these things. So anyway, let's continue. So assign that. Notice how every time I'm assigning one of these heading levels, it's changing the font and also the size of the font. What you can do is right click, modify, and you can change the default settings for what you want that text to look like. Automatically update, and now it automatically updated all the other heading levels that correspond to that setting. I can do the same thing here, modify, automatically update, and it did the same thing. And I guess I should have also did it for text color, but whatever, I'm not going to do it right now because I'll just take too long. But yeah, so notice as I was assigning those heading levels, it was creating this little list of headings on my left-hand side. And when you click on it, you get to jump around your document so much quicker. It just makes everything so much easier to navigate. And, it might seem like a small thing, but I promise you, it will make your life so much easier when you're editing this document. And the nice thing is, whenever you're having to share this document with somebody, either as a Word doc or if you upload it to Google Docs, the heading levels are preserved. So even Google Docs will recognize the heading levels, and it will have its own type of navigation panel on the left-hand side that you can use to navigate your whole document. So I always assign these level 1, and there you go. Now I can jump around my whole paper using just that navigation panel. So for this, I'll put title page and do that. And then for all of these, I usually put heading 2. And there you go. So, and then also your abstract. So your abstract should be heading 1 as well. So there you go. Now you can, close that. You can expand any of these sections so you can focus on that section while you're editing. But it makes your life so much easier to do like this, I promise. I always add comments to sections with the word count for that section I would like, and any other to-do list items. Instead of crowding your whole document with a million different comments, I would just reply to the same comment as many times as you can, and then just liking it, because you can like comments. So word count 500, and then you can say, comment 2, and you should be able to like it like this. And that's how I like to mark it complete. When all of the comments for a given section are addressed, I then mark it as resolved. And you can filter your comment panel for active comments only. Unresolved comments are active. So that's what this means. But if you want to put all, then just reset all and it will show. And you should be able to undo resolved comments like that. I would never delete a comment unless it says something that you would rather not anybody to be able to see. So there you go. This is already something that you can work with and get started on for your paper. I would use AI to help at least start an abbreviations list. So when you're creating an abbreviations list here, I think the best strategy would be to just copy your entire paper or just upload it as a file to ChatGPT and ask it to create an abbreviations list for you. But I would not trust it completely. It might miss something. And so I highly recommend doing that split screen option and having your abbreviations list on the top part of your screen, and on the bottom you're scrolling through your paper and you're checking everything. Always make sure that the abbreviation is defined once, and after that you only use the abbreviations for the rest of your paper. If you use an abbreviation within a figure, make sure to create an abbreviations list for your figures too. Your figures down here, will have a figure legend. If you have abbreviations within your figure, which is very common, and I actually recommend it to save space, then below it you should also have an abbreviation list that will definitely have some repetition between that abbreviation list and the one that's way at the beginning of your paper. So this abbreviation list, if you have something like, DNA, and then you put your definition, semicolon, and then you have another one like RNA, comma, definition, semicolon, and say these two are also in this abbreviation list, doesn't matter. You still have to define them again below the figure legend for a given figure that these are used in. And sometimes you might have abbreviations here that show up in the figure, but not within the actual text. That shouldn't really happen ever or very often, but if it does, then you should also include it within the main abbreviation list up here. Um, so yeah. Okay, now we're going to move on to how to use EndNote, which is also made by Microsoft, and it's compatible with Microsoft Word, the application. Most institutions should have a subscription to it, and you should be able to download it to your desktop. When you do that, make sure to download the EndNote 21 version if you're watching this and it's April in 2025. This is the latest version of EndNote. So what is it? It is a software that lets you organize or consolidate all of your citations into a single place where it's linked to your document literally. You can actually insert within the text citations for articles and automatically update your end of text bibliography or citation list in real time. And you can change the formatting like this. Most medical journals will prefer AMA 11th edition formatting. And so let's play around with this real quick. So go to background. Now I have this article. I want to cite this article. I just wrote a sentence here saying that, during the 19th and 20th centuries, blah, blah, blah. And now it's the end of my sentence. This is the period at the end of my sentence. After that period, you want to have a superscript. Or if it's like Vancouver style, some journals might want Vancouver. It will be like 2 parentheses with a number in it. But no matter what, you should put it after the period if it's a superscript. I always do superscripts after the period. So you would go back to your EndNote. Well, let's start from the beginning, actually. Let's find this article in the text file. So let's find the article. Let's search for the title. If the DOI number is available, that would be even better. Oh, here it is. Let's just look for the DOI number then. Copy it. Go to your browser. Paste it. There it is. Of course it's going to be on PubMed because it's in the text file that I downloaded from PubMed. Cite it. Download the NBIB format file. If you can also use RIS files or PubMed files. So open it. When you click open, it should automatically open as an imported reference within your EndNote software, and it will already be selected. So there's really not much else for you to do other than position your cursor where you would like to cite this article within your text. insert citation, insert selected citation. And there you go. So it created a superscript for the article that I want to cite. If you put the cursor right before it, go to edit and manage citations, there is my article. And there's all the information that I downloaded within that NBIB file. That NBIB file is really just a text file that has all this information in it. It has all the information necessary to cite that article in many different formats. What else did this do? If I go down to my reference list, citations, or actually it's going to pop up at the very end of your document. So you're going to have to move things around a little bit. It's going to automatically insert a field code with your citation list in it. And this citation list will update automatically every time you insert a citation doing what I just did, where you put this and then insert select that citation. It will update both the within the text citation and the end of text citation list. And what's really cool is, let's go back here. Say I realize that I'm not using the right formatting and I want to switch it to Vancouver, right? So Vancouver. Well, look at that. It updated the format here, and then it should have also done it in my background. So see that? Now it has the parentheses and the number within that parentheses. So, yeah, that's another reason why I like it so much, because you save a lot of time with citing things. But let me tell you something else that is good to know. It's probably best to save this for last. Like doing the EndNote citation stuff, you should just do that last. The best strategy, honestly, is to just do this. Just put the link to the article. So copy the URL, Control K, Control V, OK. That's perfect. Because what's going to happen is you want to collaborate on these documents. You want to share this Word doc with people to edit on the web, like this. But before that, it's going to ask you to save it. So just put demo doc. So anyone can edit. Copy that link, or you can put their email here. It'll send them a link that way. And that link will open this document on the web, just like this document. It will allow everyone to edit it in real time, but the problem is not everybody can use EndNote to cite the same online Word doc, because it just doesn't work like that. You would have to literally use like an online version of EndNote like this, which I could also show you real quick. Like, it works very similar. You put your cursor wherever you want. You check off which article you want to insert, and then update citations like that. And it did the same thing. So see what it just did? It did the same thing that I just did on my browser, but still other people cannot do this properly because they do not share the same EndNote account that you have or library of citations. So when they insert a citation, it will create a separate reference list. You see what I'm saying? It will create a separate reference list from yours. It will not update the reference list that you were creating using your EndNote account. So it gets a little bit tricky. That's why I think it's best that you just put hyperlinks when you're editing the document, and then there should be a person who is dedicated to doing just the citations using EndNote, Zotero, or RefWorks, or whatever citation manager they feel the most comfortable with at the very end. But yeah, another pro tip. I'm just thinking off the top of my head, things that might help you at some point. So say you find an article about radiotherapy, but it's like a news brief. Say it's like a news brief, or something that's, say it's just something that you don't have the download NBIB file thing for, or whatever. Um, Generally, you shouldn't really be citing these types of articles if you're writing something like a review article, where the types of articles you cite should be a little bit more uh, credible than this. I mean, news briefs are not that credible. So, but if you have any other type of article and it doesn't have the download button, here's a way around it. But you want the RIS file, right? You want to import this into EndNote somehow. Control P to print as a PDF, save to your downloads. Now go right back over to ChatGPT. Drag this PDF in here. Create an RIS file for the PDF attached. And now what ChatGPT is doing, it's reading my PDF, it's capturing the title, the author list, the year of publication, or any other things that might be relevant to creating an RIS file, and it's literally doing that for me. So let me know if you like this export as an RIS file. Yes. So it will literally create a file that you can download. Also, if you wanted to convert a text file into an RIS file, or the other way around, you can do that. You can literally convert file types using ChatGPT. So yeah, download file. Now I have this file. I clicked open file, and there it is, right there. So notice it already filled in all the information straight from the PDF. It's crazy. It's actually crazy how advanced things have gotten. So insert, select the citations, and boom, there it is. Let's go look at the citation at the end. There it is. Tell me this is not amazing. This is awesome, right? You can basically download a file within seconds for any article you find on the internet. Obviously, double check to make sure that the information is accurate. January 27th, 2025. January 27th, 2025. The DOI number. Yeah, so there's just endless things that you can do. It's amazing with AI. But yeah, I think that was pretty much all I wanted to show you right now. But I'm thinking about making more videos in the future about other topics um, related to writing manuscripts and just how to streamline the whole process for you. I also wanted to make a video on how to make um, figures using PowerPoint. I think PowerPoint is one of the best resources that you have at your disposal. Most people have Microsoft 365 through their institution or on their own subscription, and so you can do a whole lot of stuff with just PowerPoint alone. But that's a whole other video I can make later on. But this is a great way to get started with your manuscript. If you have any questions, email me, call me, whatever. I'm always open to helping with anything research related or anything really. But yeah, have a great day.